Bumble is back, both as our podcast sponsor and to help you find love. Honestly, dating can feel intimidating, but Bumble is definitely making it easier. Sometimes all you need is a different perspective or a little bit of guidance, which is exactly why Bumble has launched its new coaching hub. This update offers support and tips from experts, and my friends are loving it so far. For the love of love, give Bumble another shot. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday and sometimes Fridays. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. The final episode in this studio. I know I've said this all week, but I honestly can't believe it. Nothing is taken down. We are not ready for the move at all tomorrow. So after I finish recording, Annabelle's going to come back in and we are going to spend the whole rest of this afternoon tearing down, I don't know if you guys can see if you watch, but we put up all this soundproofing and it goes through our whole office. So that is going to be the biggest undertaking, is taking it all down and then putting it all back up tomorrow. This office was a bittersweet experience for me. I am very ready for a fresh start. It does feel a bit suffocating to me in some ways, not just because it's small without a window, but just so much shit happened in this office. It has a lot of baggage for me, okay? So I'm really excited for this fresh start, a new chapter. All right, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Please Spotify star rate us. We're trying to get to 1,000 Spotify star ratings by the end of week, by the end of the year. By the end of the week would be amazing, but by the end of the year, actually. Okay, we have another incredibly niche episode for you guys today. Annabelle was like, Minnie's performing pretty well this week. And then she's like, I think it's because every story has been so niche. And honestly, that is the truth. There's been so much interesting stuff happening online this week. And sometimes you just get one of those amazing weeks, And this week is one of those. So the first story that I have for you guys, it's a bit of a quick one, but Brittany Broski has announced that she has a debut album on the way. So creator Brittany Broski is going to be releasing an album soon. She appeared on the House of Mayor podcast and dropped the bomb that her debut album is on its way. She didn't actually say when it's coming, but I'm going to say if she's already telling us about it, it's probably going to happen soon. So for anyone who follows Brittany, this should come as no surprise. She's already released 3 songs this year and obviously is trying to get into music. And Brittany has real vocals. I feel like this is different than influencers that try their hand at music. And I'm not against that at all. I actually think if you had the money and the connections and the resources to try your hand at whatever you wanted, why would you not try? So I don't begrudge any influencers who have the opportunity to create a song or try acting or whatever, because sure, go for it. But I think what feels different about Brittany is not only does she have a lot of talent, but also she seems to be doing this in a very considered way. It seems to be a passion of hers, and I'm excited to hear more about her debut album coming out. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is a big one. It is a bit convoluted. I did my best to put all the information together, but if I got anything incorrect, feel free to correct me in the comments and let me know what I missed or what I, didn't get right. But I'm almost certain that this timeline of events and everything that's going on is correct. But please know it's not my full-on niche. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about how creators Matthew and Paul are being accused by the BookTok community of engaging in pity marketing to promote their new children's book, and how now an employee in the publishing industry has been dragged into this, and it's just really exploded. So Matthew and Paul are a popular online couple. They have over 3.5 million followers on TikTok and 1.2 million on YouTube. Their social media brand tagline is 2 guys and a guide dog because they feature Paul's guide dog in a lot of their content. Paul is seeing impaired. So they post a lot about Paul's journey becoming a children's book author despite being legally blind. And over the past year and a half, the way that they've gone about portraying this journey and promoting this journey has been criticized by followers. A lot of people say they engage in pity marketing to sell products like their books. For example, they'll post a video of a quote-unquote sob story, And a product that they are referring to in this video, related to the video, will be tagged in the description where you're able to click on it or swipe up and buy. So the latest example of them doing this is with Paul's new book. In June 2025, they posted 2 emotional videos claiming they were having a hard time getting Paul's book into bookstores because of the LGBTQIA+ characters and themes throughout it. They said they were having a particularly hard time with book distributor Ingram. So Ingram is the largest book distributor in the world. Before I keep going, obviously book bans are an issue in the United States right now, and LGBTQIA rights are being attacked across the board. So I want to make it clear, while people largely don't believe Paul for various reasons, and I will get into some of that, these are real concerns, and I don't want to minimize that. And it is very possible that 2 things can be true at once. They can be capitalizing on quote unquote sympathy marketing, as a lot of people believe, while also having a hard time getting their books into stores because of the themes and the discrimination that is happening against their community. So Paul's claims immediately sparked skepticism amongst 2 groups. First, the publishing industry, and second, their followers. The publishing industry, because I guess their claims just didn't align with what happens in the industry at all. And then their followers, because those who have followed them for a while noted that the year prior, they made similar claims about another one of their children's books, saying that a small bookstore had banned it for its themes after ordering 100 copies. So this also made people be like, what the fuck? Because I don't know the publishing industry, but tons of authors, tons of industry professionals have been speaking out against, this couple and everything that's been going on. And at the time, they were saying indie bookstores don't order anywhere close to 100 copies of a book. So this story cannot be true. Paul later clarified the reason that 100 copies were ordered is because he was going to be doing a book signing, a meet and greet. And, they have millions and millions of followers. So it was okay, that makes sense. However, in explaining this, he said that the person who had scheduled him had ended up leaving the bookstore, left their job at the bookstore, and the owner of the bookstore, who he named Tanya, he called Tanya, pulled the event because she was not supportive of the themes in his book. So then that sent their followers on a witch hunt for an indie bookstore with an owner named Tanya, and they came across this Black-owned bookstore by a woman named Tanya in Canada who was not related to this story at all, but they decided she was the one and it was this store, and they just went after her apparently. And days later, Paul came online and said, okay, please stop attacking her. This is not the right bookstore. Either way, all of this just led to more questions for their followers than answers. And they felt like they were just engaging in pity marketing to encourage their followers to support them. Okay, so back to June of this year. Paul said he was going to get his book into a massive bookstore chain with the help of a sales rep from Ingram. However, he was told by this bookstore chain that he needed to change the title of his book in order for it to get picked up. So he did. He says that he did a reprint of tons of copies in anticipation of this major bookstore buying his books. The deal, like I said, was meant to go through Ingram, the book distributor, and he said it fell through because Ingram said they wouldn't go ahead with distributing his book unless he had at least 10 titles, 10 separate books that he as an author has published.
The book deal is not going through. Oh God. If you've been following along, then you know a major bookstore chain offered to carry my inclusive children's books, The Pengrooms and The Secret Ingredient, but that they could only put The Pengrooms in their children's book section if we changed the title of the book. So we agreed to do it. We changed The Pengrooms to become Pringle and Finn. Same book, same message of inclusivity, just a brand new title. When we sold out of our copies of The Pengrooms, we placed another order, this time with the new title, Pringle and Finn. This was a much, much bigger order. As you can see behind me, these boxes go to the ceiling and they go back 6 rows. If we delayed ordering the quantity that this bookstore wanted, we might have missed the opportunity entirely. So it was definitely a big risk, one that I was really afraid to make, but it was one we had to make. So this is where things took a bit of an unexpected turn. The bookstore chain got us in touch with Ingram. Now this is the default system that all US bookstores use to place their book orders, and you have to be in this distribution system in order to get into most bookstores. So we got on a call with Ingram, and that's when they told us that we did not qualify unless we have at least 10 book titles available. We only currently have 3 book titles. I have 2 more books coming out later this year, but that puts us 5 book titles away. And in the meantime, we're renting out 2 entire storage rooms to hold the Pringle and Finn books and the Secret Ingredient books. And right now, they have nowhere to go. The major bookstore chain has gone radio silent.
I do want to say this video where he's talking about this is a sponsored ad for his book with it linked for a swipe up. Okay, so now this has escalated into Paul and Matthew getting into a public social media feud with an employee from Ingram. So an alleged sales rep for Ingram posted on Threads saying that Paul was not rejected from Ingram. He was simply referred to Ingram Sparks, which is their distribution arm for indie authors. Paul was trying to work with Ingram Wholesale to get his books into these major bookstores. And Ingram Wholesale is for publishers with 10 or more titles underneath their belt. Paul only has 5, so he was referred to Ingram Sparks. And that was not made super clear, according to their followers, in his initial videos. However, when it really exploded is when the employee via Threads said that Paul was charging authors to publish their children's book under his own imprint, which I guess is a big accusation in publishing. I think it's called vanity publishing, when, an imprint basically says, we'll publish your book, but you have to pay us. So Paul and Matthew have opened their own imprint, and it seems like people online think that they did this because, like I said, they only have 5 books underneath his name, and if they can get to 10, then they can qualify for Ingram Wholesale. So why this all got picked up again this week, why this has exploded this week in particular, because all the Thread stuff went down in June, okay? Paul posted this week saying that he found out that the same employee that he claimed was trying to help him get into a major retailer through Ingram, he found out this week was also the same employee who posted about him on Threads in June. So this person was being two-faced, I think is what he was implying. So this sparked so much discussion on TikTok of people being like, why do these guys keep doing this? Like every time it's close to Black Friday, every time it's close to Christmas, every time it's close to Pride Month, they start this kind of like quote unquote pity marketing campaign to promote their products. That's what people are saying online, okay? I am not across Matthew and Paul. I was going to say Matthew and John. It's giving apostles. I am not across Matthew and Paul as a couple. I'm not really across their content, but that is what a lot of people are saying. Like Reddit is filled with people who are like, I loved them for so long. And like, I bought into it the first or second time, but now that this has happened like 6+ times, I had to block them and stuff like that. So now where we are today. An hour ago, Paul posted a video reading an alleged email that he received from the VP of Ingram.
Because the vice president of Ingram just sent us an email, and it is, for lack of a better word, it's funny. So they said that they saw the video in which I talked about the lies being spread by one of their employees. And they said, out of respect to you and our commitment to providing the best possible customer service, we have some clarifications. First of all, I just want to stop there because it is so amusing to me that they're talking about a commitment to the best customer service when the employee representing their company was going online while they were working on a project with us and providing details about that project just to the public. Also providing a lot of inaccurate details. They called what we were doing a stunt. They suggested to people that we were starting a vanity press, that we were going to charge authors to publish their book. Never said that, would never do that, of course. Most glaringly, they claimed that we had not even had contact with Ingram since 2024. Yet in this email from the vice president, after reviewing internal email communications, we can confirm that you did have contact with Ingram in March of 2025. This did not come with an apology. At this point, I'm wondering if this was supposed to be sent to their employee and not me. We know that we had contact in March of 2025. We have detailed record when we decided that we were going to give a soft cover version of the book a try because we could make $1 per copy. They would be printing it, warehousing it, shipping it, etc. This is a massive multi-billion-dollar company. I thought for sure, this is a huge department. They weren't going to place me with the same person who had been discrediting us and spreading lies. Like, it just never occurred to me that we would end up with the same person. It really feels like one of those jump scares in a movie. When I found out it was the same person, I will say in the email, they said, your account's still open. We can still do the project for you. Absolutely not. They could make a lot of money off this book. Like I said, I would get about $1 per copy. They take a nice big chunk of the profits. They profit off their print-on-demand services. They provide a lot of services. I'm not saying what they do is bad. I think what they do is good. I think the way they're handling this is poor.
Now, I will say that Matthew and Paul, their official account, is like reposting drama videos about this. They're commenting on like every video being like, oh my God, I love you. Thanks so much for covering this. Like, you got some stuff wrong, but your voice is so soothing. I could listen to you talk all day. Like, they're commenting all this like sugary sweet stuff across videos of people who are like covering the drama. It's so bizarre. It's very interesting. But yes, that is the whole saga in a very short, succinct, kind of succinct nutshell. I hope I got, the order of events correct, and I hope I got as much correct as possible. But if you guys know more about them and about their whole situation, I would love to hear it in the comments. Okay, the last story that I have for you guys, this is truly hilarious. I don't know if you guys have come across her, but there is this new doctor going super viral on TikTok. She's from Chile, and her name is Dr. Valentina Pumpin. And she is going viral for her marketing stunt that has blown up her account. She has almost 700,000 followers in like 7 days. So Dr. Valentina is a dentist. Like I said, she's based in Chile, and she started posting on TikTok in April. However, over the past week, she has gone so viral, gaining over 600,000 followers and hundreds of millions of views. I swear, like they are so viral because of her quote unquote bad veneers. So since October 15th, she's been making these videos promoting her practice, but in them she has like the worst veneers of all time. And she's telling people to come and get their veneers done with her. And at first people were like, is this a joke? Is this real? She seems very serious in them. So people thought, like, there were a lot of people that did believe that this was true. We see a lot of bad veneers on TikTok, okay? So I think people just kind of have veneer blindness and we're like, oh, that's just like another Love Island mouth. Like, I think that's what a lot of people thought. After gaining over 500,000 followers in, like I said, about a week, she made a video revealing that she was basically wearing fake teeth the whole time. And now, because of that, she's even more viral. And this has become a full-on in-joke on TikTok. People are parodying her. And because it's like so specific, like she is super viral, but like her content is very specific. So it's like deep referential humor, okay? And everyone is calling her like the ultimate marketing queen because she really just went in and said, I'm going to make people think that my work is really bad. I'm going to get hundreds of thousands of followers and then be like, plot twist, joking, actually, these are not my real teeth. And now she has an account with over 600,000 followers, almost 700,000 followers that she can market her actual services to. And everybody's loving her. It's so good. Anyways, guys, that's it for Mini Scroll today. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Please Spotify star rate us. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, Friday, for a Friday mini scroll in our new office, allegedly, and a Halloween episode. Ooh, spooky. Maybe I'll be in my Halloween costume. It is actually mini scroll appropriate, but I don't know if you guys will get it, but we'll see. Okay. Anyways, bye.